Life has a funny way of feeling like a runaway train sometimes, doesn't it? We chase deadlines, we juggle responsibilities, and we're constantly bombarded with a world that seems to spin faster every day. In the middle of all that hustle, we often find ourselves yearning for something calmer, a quiet space inside maybe, a bit of what we often call peace of mind. But it can feel like chasing smoke, can't it? A beautiful, fleeting thing, always just beyond our grasp. We tend to imagine peace of mind as some grand destination. A mountaintop retreat, a week-long vacation, or maybe even some future moment when all our problems magically vanish. And while those things can certainly be lovely, the truth is, true peace of mind isn't really about escaping from life. It's more about learning to find moments of stillness and calm within it, even when the train feels like it's still barreling down the tracks. Think about it for a second. Have you ever noticed those pockets of quiet that unexpectedly appear even in the busiest of days? It might be the steam rising from your morning cup of tea, the feeling of sun on your face during a quick walk, or just the deep breath you take before you dive back into a demanding task. These aren't interruptions to your day. They're tiny anchors, moments where you can reconnect with yourself, however briefly. Peace of mind isn't a constant state of bliss. That's a bit of a fairy tale, isn't it? Life is messy, emotions are complex, and challenges will always be part of the mix. But it's more about developing a gentle way of being amidst all of that. It's about learning to create space around the chaos, a little inner sanctuary where you can retreat to when things get overwhelming. And how do we build this sanctuary? Well, often it starts small. It might be as simple as paying a little more attention to those everyday moments I mentioned. Actually savoring that morning tea. Truly noticing the warmth of the sun, making that deep breath a conscious act of grounding. It's about shifting our focus just for a moment, from the relentless demands out there to the quiet rhythm happening right in here. Sometimes peace of mind is about letting go of the endless striving for perfection. The idea that we need to have it all figured out, be completely in control, or never make mistakes. That's a heavy load to carry, isn't it? Maybe, just maybe, peace begins to seep in when we give ourselves permission to be imperfect, to stumble a little, to learn as we go, and to be kind to ourselves along the way. It also often has a lot to do with our inner dialogue. That voice inside our head can be our worst critic sometimes, constantly judging, worrying, and replaying past missteps. Finding peace can be about learning to soften that inner voice, to speak to ourselves with a bit more compassion, a bit more understanding, like we would to a friend who's going through a tough time. Peace of mind, you see, isn't really something out there to be found, like a hidden treasure. It's more like a gentle skill, a practice, something we cultivate bit by bit, moment by moment, within the landscape of our own lives. It's in the pause, in the breath, in the small acts of self-compassion, in the quiet moments of noticing the beauty that still exists, even amidst the everyday rush. Perhaps the chase for that elusive peace of mind was never really a chase at all. Maybe it was always just a quiet invitation, whispered in those ordinary moments, to turn inward and simply, gently,